Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the shop. We're going to start staining these boards. I've worked out a pretty good technique to get them done, so I thought I'd bring you along and show you how we're doing it. Now, these boards, I've sanded them again. I sanded them with 180, and then I sanded the edges and kind of rounded over this top edge, so it's not quite so sharp. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you the process on how I do this. First off, I blow off the sawdust with a little compressed air. Then I have this synthetic tack rag, and I just kind of go over to get a little bit of dust out that's stuck in the grain. Like that. Then I'm applying my stain with the big brush. Just the idea is just to get it on there. It doesn't have to look good. And so I got a big brush. It holds quite a bit. Hoping you can hear me over the fans. I got a couple of fans running for ventilation. We just kind of get this on, get everything covered, get it soaking in. This is, like I say, this here was a red chestnut from Minwax, and the number was 232. I got a gallon of it, so hopefully that'll enough to get this first part of the project done. Kind of windy outside today, so you might hear the doors are banging around. I've got things closed up to keep the sawdust from blowing around and getting in my stain. Alright, I got the top all covered. Now what I do is I go around and I hit the edge, put a little bit on. Don't worry about if I get every glass spot on that. And then I come back around and I get that edge good. Get that all colored in. I mean, you won't really see these because they'll be butted right together, but I wanted to have that protection of the stain all the way down on the side. Get all that colored in. See, now while I've been doing these sides, that top's been soaking in. So now what I do is I go back over, and it's got some puddles and stuff where it's really soaked in. So I just kind of brush it over again, even things all out, get those puddles smeared into those dry spots, let it soak in a little more. Okay, and then I wipe it off, and I don't worry about the sides too much. I do a quick over the top here. This gets all the puddles and really heavy spots. Okay. Then I get a different part of my rag here, and I go over and I even it up. Get all the marks from the ragging it off, at the last of the wet spots. And I'm kind of looking at the light here on it to so I get the same consistency on the wood. And I kind of just do about 3 strokes here. Get any last little flaws. Hit the bottom edge there just in case I got some drips. Okay, that's that for the stain. So I just do that to every board, and you know, there's nothing to it. It's just really repetitive. All right, I'll go put this over on the rack and we'll bring another one in. I try to do 8 boards at a time. It's about all the room I've got over there to let the stuff dry. And so we'll get this on, let it dry, and then I'll bring it back and show you how we do the finish. All right, I've let this stain dry overnight. I hope you can hear me. We've got quite a rainstorm going on. So I'll talk loud and maybe have to do a voiceover. But we'll go ahead and put the finish on now. The finish I'm using is Minwax Helmsman spar urethane. It's the exterior. So we'll just let you look over my shoulder and see how I do this. It's pretty similar to the put the stain on other than I put the finish on with a foam roller. So we'll get into it and let you watch what we're doing. Alright, it's time to put the last coat of finish on these. These been drying, I think a day and a half. I had some stuff to do yesterday, so I let them dry all that. So what we have to do is sand them down with 220. I just do the surface, I don't do the sides. They've got a pretty good feel to them now, but it's like it kind of raised the grain or something. It's not too bad, but we're going to go ahead and knock it off. I've just used a 220 sanding pad like I use on my random orbital, and got it on a block. And we'll just kind of scuff off the high spots. We're not trying to sand clear through the finish. You know, we just want to get that raised grain taken care of. Doesn't take much. You can feel it when you go over the surface with the block. It's got kind of a gritty feel when you first go over, and then it just smooths right out. That feels nice. Okay, looks really good. Doesn't take much, but they're right there in the corner. Okay, it feels good. Now what we'll do is we'll blow it off with a little compressed air again, just like before. Dust off my hands. Okay, this time when we tack off the dust, we're going to use a regular tack cloth. It's made out of cheesecloth. It's got some kind of, I don't know, it's got something on it that's kind of tacky. It feels real gooey in your hands, but it doesn't leave any residue on the wood at all. And it really cleans that real fine powder off of there from sanding that. And you can really tell, you can really check your finish now, you know, and make sure it's smooth. Now if that's dragging on there, then you need to go back and sand. But that's about it. Just like that. It's good. And then I throw them in a plastic bag here just to keep them. I don't know if they dry out or not, but that way they're not getting stuck on everything on the table. Alrighty, I'll get my finish opened up and bring you back and show you how we apply that last coat of finish. Alright, this last coat goes on just like the first coat did. I use a foam roller. Gets a nice flat finish. This Helmsman spar urethane it self-levels, so when you first put it on, if you look in the light, it looks kind of orange peely, but you let it set a minute and it flattens right out and gets a nice smooth finish, and you can kind of see all the imperfections, and you know, if you've got some dust or something that's blown in it. But yeah, I do about 1/3 of a board, a roller full. And this will be a satin, so as it dries, it'll the sheen will go down quite a bit. Goes on really pretty quick. In fact, the finishing part is the easiest part of this whole process. Then I do a quick around the edge, just in case I've missed something on the first go around. I don't worry too much about that side. Kind of go down the edges. Make sure there's no roller marks in it. Now I get the light looking over it really close, and if I see any roller marks or chunks of stuff that might have been in my finish, I'm getting down to the bottom of my can, so you know, I'm getting a few little flecks in it here and there. That, and I'm a tightwad, so I put my rollers in a plastic bag and reuse them 1 or 2 times before I put a new roller on, so I get a little bit off the handle. But you just pay attention, and you know, it's not too bad. It looks really good. It's starting to flatten out and get that kind of almost like a plastic coating look on it. But then that'll go away and it'll be a nice satin finish. So that's all there is to it. Just got 7 more to do. I do 8 at a time. And I'll let these sit here and dry in the shop for about 4 hours. And they'll be dry to the touch. And then I take them up and I put them in the house garage and let them set up there for 24 hours, and they'll harden right up, and then I go put them on the kitchen floor. So okay, here we go. Got them all done. So you can see the reflection from the back of the truck on the wood there. But those will that sheen will calm down a little bit. So I'll take you up in the house garage and show you the batch that's up there. All right, here's the 8 that I did just before that last batch. So these have been drying up here, well, like I say, for about 2 days. I had stuff to do on yesterday, so these got a little extra drying time, but they're good and dry. Got a little dust settled in on them, but it doesn't stick. You can kind of see the reflection in the window there, that it's not really a super high gloss. Got a little bit of shine to it. But yeah, they turned out really, really nice. I don't know if I can get a better shot this way. There you go. Alrighty, we'll start taking these in and installing them.